Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm Mark. This is Spiguyver Backpacking. Out here on a little day hike, and I figured it was a good place. Looked like a great spot to stop and do some coffee. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's talk about probably the easiest, lightest, most mess-free way to do coffee that's not instant, that's the closest to what you do at home out on the trail. So let's do this. Let's go. Okay, so I found this nice spot right here, and I've got a pretty flat rock. I've got a lot of rocks right in this area, but this one's pretty flat, so this is what we're going to use kind of as our base. I've got a canteen full of water. Now this is cold water, but what's nice about using a canteen like this, especially if you're out on a day when temperatures are going to be below freezing, is that the water's not going to freeze inside here because this is insulated. So that's where my water is. Got my pot, stove, lid to it's in here, lid. I've got a lighter, so make sure I've got that. Got my fuel right here, but then I've got my stuff to make coffee. So right here, this is GSI Infinity mug. These things are great, insulated. It's a Lexan mug that slides inside of this insulated sleeve. It's got a nice top, opens up, you can sip right out of. Everything is really nice. Inside of there, I have really what I'm gonna need. So ground up coffee. Rather than bringing you can absolutely bring a grinder with you, but really you're not gonna lose that much on a weekend, 3-4 days out, if you grind up and pre-ration your coffee ahead of time. So right here I've got 20 grams in this baggie, and then I've got my GSI pour over, but this can be kind of messy and takes a little bit of water to clean up, and especially if you're in an area where you don't want to use a lot of water, use a V60 filter inside of it. And now once you're done, you take this out, use the same bag that you brought your grinds in, put it in there, and now you've left no trace. This is pretty much clean at that point, and put it all back together. So why don't we get some water on and get this going. All right, today we're using the Fancy Feast. Like I said, it's not exactly a perfectly level spot, but we'll make it work. Should be fine. Put a little bit of alcohol on the outside just to get it to light a little easier. We'll let that start while we get water in here. Do about 10 ounces of water, maybe 12. Okay, and we'll let that get hot. All right, so as the water is heating up, we can get this prepped. And what's really nice is these things mate together really well, both GSI. So this actually just snaps on real easy. 3 legs, it goes on. Now, like I said, you can just pour your grinds right in here, and that's an even lighter option because then you're carrying nothing else. Just grinds in, do it, but then you've got to find a way to clean it up, and it can be kind of a pain, which is why I like to use a V60 filter. So I like to fold over the edge where it sticks out, fold that over, and then it will kind of lay a little bit flatter. You can see it fits right in there very nicely. Next, I'll open up my ground coffee. This is an Onyx coffee. This is Southern Weather for those of you guys who know their coffees. All right, so there's what you've got. So the grounds are in there. You've got the filter inside of there, and so now it's just a matter of the water coming to temperature, and we'll get this going. Okay, so now really simply, here we go. You may need to pull the sides back and let it adjust so it doesn't collapse in there. But once you've got it set up and you've started pouring water in, it's pretty simple. And this does also slow, if you were using it without the filter, it goes through pretty quick. And so this actually does allow a little bit more dwell time on the coffee, which pulls out more of the flavors of the grind that you're using. All right, so this is pretty much done. It's just barely dripping now. So at this point, what you can do is take the filter that you put in here, kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to rip it. And it's still dripping a little bit, but this is where you grab that bag that you had your grinds in, throw it in there, zip it up. And now you aren't leaving anything behind. You don't have to worry about this making a mess anywhere. And then really the only thing you've got that's got any sort of mess to it at all is this, but it doesn't have grinds in it, so it's a whole lot easier. One of the easiest ways to clean this up is to kind of flip it inside out, grab it by the legs, give it a quick couple of shakes. Now you're good to go. Just kind of lay it to the side. I'm gonna put it back inside of this mug after I'm done drinking it. I'm gonna let this cool down for just a second, and then we'll give it a try. All right, so let's give it a try. It's good coffee. If you guys haven't tried Onyx coffee, I highly recommend giving it a try. Check it out. They do a lot of creative coffees, experimental ones, things that other people aren't doing, and their coffee is just so good. All right, so there you guys go. That is how I do my coffee on the trail when I'm wanting to go as light as possible, but not go instant. So instant, of course, is going to be lighter. I can do that in my pot. I don't need a second mug, but this is nice. This doesn't get hot on me. It's real easy to drink out of, and it gives me the chance to do a pour over. Using the GSI pour over and then adding in a filter is a really clean, easy cleanup, very lightweight option, and the result, as long as you've got good coffee, is very close to what you're going to do at home. Very close. I appreciate you guys checking this out. If you have any questions, any comments, leave them down in the comment section below. Leave us a thumbs up if you liked it, and as always, click that subscribe button. Costs you absolutely nothing, helps us out tremendously. I will see you guys down the trail.